All right, general items. We have wastewater treatment facility, effluent discharge, outfill, diffuser, preparation of construction contract documents. Mandy.
Good evening, City Council. So today I'm going to make it short now. So today I will be making a recommendation to award a professional services agreement to consulting firm CH2M Hill engineers to prepare the design documents for the wastewater treatment facility outfall diffuser relocation. So a little bit about the background. The wastewater treatment facility treats the wastewater from this great community, and it remains in service 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And once we treat the wastewater from the wastewater treatment facility, it has two options to dispose the treated water. Number one option is the existing diffuser, which is just on the north end of the ponds, or the north end of the slides, right, number one right here. And there is a picture pointing the arrow. This is how the diffuser looks like. It is a 24-inch diameter line sitting on the bed of the on the bottom of the river bottom, and has about 43-inch diffusers pointing the down to the downstream of the water, the direction of the water flow. So, and then the second option we have is the ponds, which are on the east side of the river channel. These ponds are about 120 acres in area, and there are 6 ponds. A little bit of history of the Shanghai Bend Falls. Our existing diffuser sits right on the north side, or on the upstream side of the Shanghai Bend Falls. And these are the falls before 2011. They were intact. What happens in late 2011 and early 2012, the falls gave away on the east side, and the river cut a really deep channel. What happens is that at the normal river flows, most of the time and throughout a year, the water gets moved, start flowing through this newly formed channel. And what happened then, our existing diffuser left exposed, and the state water, our permit, the NPDES permit, does not allow us we cannot use this diffuser unless it is submerged underwater about 9 or 10 inches or so. So this is a little bit of history. Before 2011, diffuser was available year-round at any river flows. And after 2011, diffuser is exposed at less than 6,000 CFS flow, cubic feet per second. What does that mean is that the river flows are 6,000 feet, about mostly sometimes in summer when the state is making deliveries to the farmers or to the downstream customers. And then because of the Lake Oroville incident in 2017 and 18, now the diffuser becomes available only at a flow of approximately 10,000 cubic feet per second, which does not happen very often unless the dam is releasing a lot of water or it's a storm event. So at the normal river flows, our only option is the ponds. The problem with the ponds is the ponds are limited in capacity and they need regular maintenance. In order to do the maintenance, we need to get a pond at a time dry, so which we do not get opportunity very often because they're limited in capacity. We need to keep them full, keep discharging water in it. And then the second problem is the ponds are vulnerable to damage during the river flood events. And if it's a big flood event, then ponds gets damaged, then it takes a long time for them to repair. And if they're not available, then we don't have any option to discharge our treated water. And also, the California Regional Water Quality Control Board asked the city to relocate the diffuser to a reliable location where we can use it year-round. So in order to do the relocation, the staff conducted 2 studies back in the last 5 years, and we identified an area about 1.25 mile downstream of the Shanghai Bend Falls. And in order to move forward on that path, the Public Works Department issued a request for proposal to 8 engineering firms who are capable of doing these type of projects, and we received 3 proposals, and those proposals were reviewed, and 2 firms were invited to interview with the review committee. And then a review committee made a unanimous recommendation for CH2M Hill engineers or slash Jacobs team to move forward on this project, and basically they were selected for their highly experienced proposed team. They have done projects in California and also on the West Coast, and their availability of the proposed staff, as well as their great capability for the river modeling work for this type of projects. So upon selection of the CH2M Hill as the most qualified consultant, staff reviewed and discussed the scope of work with those expert members of the team, and we determined this is a really high-risk project which requires significant studies before the start of the design work. And most of it is because of changing river conditions because of the 2017 Lake Oroville incident that played a really major role for these additional scope of work, which are, for example, we need to do additional surveys. We have to study the materials coming from upstream, that how are they going to impact on our potential new location, and also the modeling and how the new diffuser is going to work. So then additional scope was identified in an attempt to mitigate the risks that we think that can be a potential problem for during construction, and also after we construct during the operation of the diffuser. So in order to mitigate those risks, staff has identified additional scope of work, and that additional scope of work added significant amount to the total scope proposed by this design team. So the anticipated project schedule, this has also been published in our application to the new NPDES permit to the state, that with council's approval of this project, it is anticipated to complete the design of the project by 2020, summer of 2020, and then advertise the bids in the fall, and award the contract in fall of 2020, and start up construction in spring of 2021, with the anticipated completion of summer or fall of 2022. So fiscal impact, this project will be funded completely by the wastewater CIP fund. And for today's recommendation, this project will be awarded to this consultant for all the services for pre-design, design, all the studies, and all the work through the bid opening of the construction project. And any work after during construction will be recommended at that time. So the total impact would be about $3 million, which includes $200,000 in contingency. So with that, I would like to make recommendation that award a professional services agreement to CH2M Hill engineers of Sacramento, California, in the amount of $2,783,000, $430,000, plus $200,000 in contingencies to provide professional services necessary for the wastewater treatment facility effluent outfall diffuser relocation in the Feather River, including design, environmental permitting, right-of-way acquisition, and services during bid period, with the finding that it is in the best interest of the city, and authorize this public works director to adjust the scope of work as necessary with the authorized amount, within the authorized amount. And also authorize the finance director to make a budget transfer from the unallocated wastewater CIP reserve fund in the amount of $1.4 million to the wastewater CIP account number for the new Outfall and river levee crossing replacement. With that, I will be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mandeep. Any questions? Bring it back to the council for any questions for Mandeep.
To the mayor.
Yes.
It's not really a question, but a couple small items here. I can say that I've worked with CH2M Hill on specifically the Feather River and different things in the past with their abilities to do, and it was in another life when I was at the county. They're very experienced at this. They definitely are the right choice to make in this matter on river mapping and issues. And also, I would like to remind staff that I mentioned about Lower Feather River Corridor Management Plan, that within that plan, there are provisions to provide some protections and already some of the environmental research and issues inside of that plan. So finding those and making sure that those are applied to the environmental study that needs to be done. And then also that a diffuser is considered a hard point in a river, according to anything that's done in Sacramento River, which was actually supposed to have been applied to other rivers, that terminology, where there are places like bridges, places where boat ramps are, intakes, outflows from cities, that they're supposed to be protected with the same rights as the environmental concerns that are out there for the bugs, shrubs, and fish. So just to press the issue based upon the studies that are already out there and legislation that actually helps to protect some of these things. So just encourage that. And if there's any extra people needed to for the interpretation and reminding of it, do know the people that actually helped develop some of this stuff and point the direction as to who to talk to.
Okay, thank you.
So there are good things out there for us.
Okay, thank you.
Questions, concerns from any other council members?
Move to approve staff's recommendation.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you, Mandy.
Thank you.